This episode is brought to you by the Ghoulish Gallery, Movies for Days, Dewey Pod Monster, The Aardvark and Magic Moshi Do Red Dwarf, Video Tasties, Voices from the Mausoleum, You Gonna Eat That Crust, and Pop Culture Reflections, all members of the You Run Podcast Network, all available at yourunpodcast.com. Marc, what do you call a Sharknado if you replace the sharks with cats?
A catnado?
No, a kitty twister. This episode is going to be a catastrophe.
Oh my God.
Hey everyone, the You Run Podcast. It's the You Run Podcast.
You want to die tonight?
Scott, I think you know who the fuck this is that's talking.
Cancel Marc. I was terribly offended.
Because after all, this is not our show. This is your show.
Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Review, the wettest and wildest division of the You Run Podcast. My name is Scott.
My name is Marc. Your puns are getting out of control at the minute. We need to rein that back a little bit.
They are. Today is a very special episode as Marc is celebrating 100 episodes as full-time co-host on the show. I know Marc was interested in this, so I went and done the legwork. This equates to 177 hours of airtime on this show alone.
Wow.
That does not include the time that you co-hosted Horror Movie News, which is an additional 47 hours of airtime.
Jesus. That's a lot. That is a lot. Man, that's a lot. That's a stint.
Yeah. Before we go any further into this episode, I want to say a huge thank you to you. I know I give you a lot of shit, and we joke and we laugh and I pick on you a lot, but I'm humbled to have you as my weekly partner in crime on this show.
Thank you, man. I'm very honoured to be here. That was very nice of you to say.
And that is the only nice thing I'm going to say and do for the next hour and however long we're on the air.
I knew you had an ulterior motive.
If you would like to get in touch with the show or have your hand in future episodes, head over to yourunpodcast.com where you can find all the links to our social medias. Go and follow Marc. He's Reviews from the Crypt or VHS from the Crypt on Instagram. Funnily enough, one of those pages does horror movie reviews and the other one showcases VHS collections. Simple as that. You can also send us an email, yourunpodcast@gmail.com, if you've got something you really need to get off your chest. If you're angry and you need to instantly get it off your chest, you can send us an audio DM anywhere social media will allow you to send an audio message through DM. If there's a microphone button, push and hold it, say what you need to say, and we'll get it. We've got one of those, but I'm going to save it. We'll play that shortly. As today is Marc's 100th episode, he got to pick the movie and he surprised absolutely nobody with what he picked. For some unknown reason, this show has a strange affinity with this franchise, and despite my best efforts to sever it, it's still here.
It's been so long though, man. We haven't done one in ages, and I've been desperate to dive back into another one.
It's been 18 months since we've done one.
Wow, that is too long. That is too long to not go into another movie.
Today we have a great episode. Not only do we have a movie review of Marc's favourite franchise in the entire world, on Marc's request for his 100th episode, he's going to have another go at breaking Broken Spirit.
Yes.
You confident today?
No, not even in the slightest, but I'm going to act like I am up until the point where it crumbles me later on.
Okay, I think you're in with a shot. You've got we'll talk about it later. You've got a decent mix of questions from a decent mix of people.
No, because you already put that post out asking everybody else to submit questions, and I know people like to see me suffer. So I'm not having high hopes for how well I'm going to do this time around.
Anyway, Vegas is having a bad hair day. Kind of involves swirling sand, flying sharks, and a whole lot of yikes. Finn, who thought he'd retired his trusty chainsaw for a life of margaritas, is back, and the weather-wielding villain and questionable fashion choices. His costumes in this are atrocious. all the way through. Like so bad.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Think fiery twisters, moving cow storms, and the surprise family reunion. Buckle up, because it's about to get wild and wet in this disaster movie as we go to a whole new level in this absurd showdown. Try not to scream too loudly. Oh, dear God. We're doing it again. Sharknado 4, The Fourth Awakens.
Yes.
This summer, get ready for a new chapter in the greatest cinematic franchise of all time.
Yeah.
No, not that one. This one.
After 5 years without a Sharknado attack, they're back.
Residents and tourists are urged at this time to get inside.
Oh my God.
Go, go, go!
We will keep our viewers informed as more details emerge from yet another catastrophic event.
Where's nobody going?
It's the sequel to the sequel of the sequel to the greatest movie about sharks and tornadoes that's ever existed.
You gotta be kidding me.
And this time,
Buckle up.
We're all gonna die!
what happens in Vegas
Looks like we got company.
There's a Sharknado coming!
sure as hell won't stay there.
San Francisco, Salt Lake, and Seattle, they were all attacked by a
Firenado! That's you!
Oil NATO!
We gotta get out of here!
Are we able to get rid of all the Sharknadoes in the U.S.?
It's not working.
This isn't gonna cut it. We're gonna need something bigger to get near that storm.
I love you, Finn Shepherd, you crazy bastard! Go! Move it!
Go, 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 go. Run away from the Sharknado.
Sharknado, The Fourth Awakens. Premiere Sunday, July 31st on Sci-Fi.
May the force be with you.
Yes, these are the greatest films ever made.
Now I need to apologize. Like, even my opening gambit where I wrote like a synopsis for this, I couldn't even read it because I'm in such disarray after watching this movie.
No, it is insane. This is the most insane thing I have ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah, and which leads me into the fact that we got a message. So we got a message, and the message actually came from you. So, so Mark watched this and then sent me an audio message of his initial thoughts, and this is what we got.
I've had a little bit of time to process Sharknado 4. I just don't know what to say, really, mate, to be honest with you. I just don't know. So much happens in that movie. I started taking notes, and like 5 or 10 minutes in, I was like, I just can't do this. I can't keep up focus on the film and also write notes at the same time. So I just had to sack the notes off and watch the film. And then by the time I got to the end, I was just like, how do we even dissect this in a way that is audible to the listeners? I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, mate?
And I still don't know, because you never got back to me with your thoughts.
I've kept my views on this completely quiet. We all know how Mark felt about this. This is the greatest thing ever made since the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But I kept mine really quiet. Listeners score this, but I'm going to start with the Google and Letterboxd scores before I jump into the listeners. So Google score this a 1.5 out of 5. Letterboxd come in a little bit higher, a 1.9 out of 5. How do you think the listeners scored this?
I'm 3.5, I think.
Yeah,
generous.
3.5 out of 5. They are drinking your Kool-Aid and going with it.
But that's great, because they're starting to take these movies for what they actually are, which is just to be enjoyed.
I would love to know how many of our listeners, let me know, drop me a DM, how many of our listeners only started watching the Sharknado franchise because we done it on this show.
That would be interesting to know, actually. Because the thing is as well, like I I love this. I love these movies unconditionally. I think they're brilliant. But I don't watch them. There's so many of them. How many is there in total? Like 9, I think, or
6.
like 6. I'm only watching them in succession with the show. So I've only seen up until this point. And I won't watch Sharknado 5 as much as I really, really fucking want to. I won't watch it until we get it on the show.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to go with these. Like I'm not watching these by choice ever.
Oh, I would quite happily watch them by choice. I'm desperate to watch number 5. So like I'm gonna now start championing number 5 until we get it on the show.
Oh God. This is a spoiler heavy show. If you haven't seen this, we're gonna spoil most of it if we can remember it, because my God, a lot happens.
Yeah.
Here's your spoiler warning.
Okay, I'm going to explain this shit to you like you're 5. Get your eyes checked. Read the damn episode title. I don't want to hear any bitching, any complaining about how, oh, there's spoilers. No, read it. If you've not seen it, do not listen.
Thanks, Heather. I love Heather's spoiler warnings. Heather needs to do a new one every year, I think.
Oh, every couple of weeks would be perfect, I think.
Where do I start? I've got so many bullet point notes, and like I could do them in any order and it would not change the outcome of this movie.
Right, well, I'm going to start because I feel like it makes perfect sense to clear up the aftermath of part 3, because like you say, it's been 18 months since we last dived into this franchise. I'm going to be honest, I was very confused to start with on who was where and what happened to certain characters from the events of part 3. I didn't realize that everybody died in the last one.
So at the end of part 3, April died and the Hoff was stuck in space.
On the moon.
On the moon. And that's how it ended.
And how old was their kid? Like, I know we've got a massive time jump, so it's 5 years since the events of the last
one.
Yeah,
their kid was like a baby. One.
I don't remember there being like a baby in the other movies. Maybe
it was born. We had a big discussion about how they called it Finn. No, they called it Gil.
Oh, they call it... Yes, he's called Gil.
Like all good Sharknado movies, this starts with a catch up with Finn, our main character. He's now living in Kansas with his son Gil and his mum, and they're living on a farm which he's named April's after his deceased wife. For those of you who don't know, his wife is played by Tara Reid. She died in the last movie, and her acting died 3 movies prior.
Her acting died in American Pie 2, I think.
It did. Now, Finn is not staying in Kansas. He's off to a family reunion in Vegas, meeting his son, who's coming back from a military tour. And he takes who initially I thought was his daughter with him. Who is this character? Like, at no point do I know who this girl with dark hair is. Not once.
She's a cousin.
Is she a new addition? Because I don't remember her.
Yeah, she's a new addition. She's basically Nova's replacement. Because Nova, which we find out later on, is away in Paris, which has a massive impact on the closing credit scene, which I'm sure we'll get to. But yeah, she's basically Nova 2.0. But they say that she is Gil's cousin. So this must be like Finn's brother or sister's kid.
Right. Okay.
Why she is in this situation with Finn and everybody else, I have no idea. But she is basically just a very sexy brunette who wears crop tops, who looks exactly like Nova.
Yeah, and like I spent time questioning, like, is it his girlfriend? Is it his daughter? Who are you? Like all the way through, every time she's on screen, like, who are you? Why are you here?
I thought Nova had been recast, to be honest with you, for a good 10-15 minutes before they actually made it clear who she was. I thought it was Nova, but they just recast her as an actress. But
right.
No, it turns out this is Finn's niece.
Right. Niece, cousin. She's a relative she's a relative of the fish-based family names.
She is a shepherd, hence her abilities to whoop ass when it comes to sharks.
So in Vegas, we get to meet a character called Ashton, who's a billionaire who's developed a system that will shut Sharknadoes down. They're all over the United States, and he's a global hero.
Yeah, he is the Elon Musk of the Sharknado franchise.
I was about to say, think Elon Musk with a bit of sassy attitude is kind of how he comes across. And he is opening a shark hotel, which contains sharks on every single level in big aquariums. There is no explanation why he's opening this hotel in Vegas. He just is.
Yeah, well, like he's like the guy who's managed to cull the NADOs, hasn't he, with his technology? He's basically prevented them from becoming a thing over the last 5 years. His technology is pulse wave systems. It blows my mind that I'm taking so much pride in explaining this. His technology that he has created has managed to cull the Sharknadoes for the past 5 years, which means there hasn't been an attack in 5 years. So obviously he's captivating on this. He's the hero of the situation. So he's opening this complex in Las Vegas, which is shark themed. So he has shark-based bandits and his casino level down on the floor. He has all sorts of other things and rooms and penthouse suites and things that are all shark-based. It's a big whole Sharknado hotel.
Yeah, and
it's like Disneyland, but for Sharknadoes.
Yeah, and it's full of actual real live sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And real live celebrities.
Yeah. The cameos in this movie are so thick and fast that I don't think I've even got half of them in my notes.
There's so many people as well, and the way that they frame them and linger on each and individual one that they do throughout this film, you look at them and you're like, you're a cameo, but I don't know who you are. Like, there was a fair few of them that I picked up throughout, but like, if I really wanted to know how important each and every one of them were, because they linger on them enough to let you know, like, this is a person of importance, you should really know why they're here. There's a lot of them that I missed because I'm just not very pop cultured in terms of American sort of, I don't know. It's like a lot of them, like if you imagine here in the UK, were like characters from Winners of Big Brother or fucking I'm a Celebrity kind of thing. It was that kind of level cameos throughout.
D-list celebrities that they've dug out of a drug-addled, drink-fueled binge in Vegas and gone, do you want to shoot a quick scene? And they've gone, oh yeah, okay. That's
the thing. A lot of them, you have to assume that they were in Vegas filming a lot of this, and they just saw someone walking past. Oh shit! Hey, we're filming Sharknado. Do you want to be killed by a shark?
I think that is literally how every cameo in this happened.
Yeah, apart from the one with Corey Taylor from Slipknot, when he popped up, I was like, "Holy shit, dude! You are way too good to be in this movie." And then he didn't even get killed either. I was like, "That's insane."
Yeah, the cameos are so frequent, and yeah, go Google. Like so many cameos.
Yeah, but I even messaged you at the time and I was like, in this first 15-minute opening segment, it is just cameo after cameo after cameo. And I'll be honest with you, it was borderline irritating. I was like, if this is what the rest of the movie is going to be like, I'm just not going to enjoy this because and it's not because it wasn't fun the way it was playing out. It just didn't necessarily land with me because I was so unaware with how many of them, like I didn't get who most of them were. So like even though it felt like a significant scene in the film, I just didn't know who these people were for me to be like, oh, that's cool. Oh, he's cool. Oh, ha 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 ha. I get why he's here.
Yeah, and I'm 100% with you. Like at this point, I'm like, oh God. Finn and his cousin, niece, whatever she is, go up to the top of one of the buildings. There's a little pool party going on. His niece makes this really awkward comment of, oh, maybe you could meet someone here. And then Finn takes a phone call from his son. He's like, where are you? He's like, I'm flying. And he's like, you're meant to be meeting us on the roof of the hotel. He's like, honestly, Dad, give me 5 minutes and I'll be there. And then it cuts to the son who's on the back of a plane with his girlfriend getting married, and they're going to parachute into Vegas and land on the roof of the building.
Was she in part 3? Because I can't remember if she was or not. I don't think she was she?
No,
so
she's a new character. As they jump out of the back of the plane, a sand nado is forming. It's not a water-based one. It's a sand nado.
Because they're in Las Vegas. It's a desert.
Exactly. The sand nado rips through Vegas and the Shark Hotel. And as it hits the Shark Hotel, guess what? Now we have a Sharknado because the sand nado is full of sharks who can't survive because there's no water in the sand nado, but I'm going to overlook it.
Oh, you have to overlook a hell of a lot in this movie.
The scenes that follows are a whole level of bonkers that I did not expect. And like you, where I was taking bullet point notes, I just gave up. So if anyone's a massive fan of this and I've missed bits, I'm sorry, my hand could not move quick enough to take notes.
It is insane what happens within the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, you've got Finn and his cousin are saving people from sharks. They're fighting sharks. We have one of the Chippendales pelvic thrusts a shark and kills it.
That was hilarious. Hilarious. And the thing is as well, which was so funny about that scene in particular, is when the Sharknado comes, they all just strip down to like G-strings. It's like, let's do this, boys. And they're all pre-oiled and everything ready to go. And they just start like fist pumping sharks and thrusting them off. Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Comedic timing at its best on the most stupid and immature level. And I was on board for it.
Yeah, there's a bit where Finn and the mystery girl, they commandeer a pirate ship from one of the hotels, which is now sailing down the strip.
Oh, no, you missed the best bit. Yeah, we get the Fast and the Furious reference where the car gets picked up.
Yeah, I kind of got this a little bit out of order, so I'm going to do the ship bit, and then we'll go back to that. So they've got a ship, like a full-on pirate ship with a crew of civilians that they're like screaming quotes from Pirates of the Caribbean at. And
but that makes no sense. How did they get down to the pirate ship without the Fast and the Furious scene?
Go on, then.
You're ruining the movie, man. You're ruining the movie. It's my 100th episode. Don't spoil it.
Go on, then. Do the Fast and the Furious scene. How did they get down from the roof?
So Matt's girlfriend, which is Finn's son, is obviously parachuting out of the plane, and they're both caught up in the tornado sequence. And then she lands on the edge of the building via her parachute, and this car also manages to land on the edge of the building where they are.
Perfectly.
Finn, being absolute hero that Finn is, climbs out to the edge of the building and says to her, "We're going to get in this car." At which point I was like, yeah, you're fucking riding this tornado in this car, which is awesome. And they do. And they ride the tornado down to the ground in one of the most terribly CGI'd sequences I've ever seen in my absolute life. It was brilliant. Absolute gold. Yeah. And there's a sign from the front of the building, the Sharknado building. It's like a logo, which is like if you imagine the Hot Wheels kart tracks that you used to have when you were a kid, that was like a tornado. It's exactly like that. And he rides it down in this car. Not only that, though, but he's a very intelligent man, is Finn. So he knows to open certain doors in order to glide the wind to land exactly perfectly on this. This film's put a lot of thought and effort into what it's doing. Just remember that.
He also says, we're not friends, we're family.
Yeah. Fast and the Furious, man. Here we go. And he rides this plastic tornado all the way to the ground before... I didn't understand where the flood came from.
No. So, like, they get it floods and they get on the pirate ship. And I was about to say, I have no idea where the water came from. But Vegas is now like, I don't know, 20 foot
the driest
underwater.
Place in the continent is now covered in 10 feet of water. And you're right, they walk past one of the Las Vegas attractions as they are over there, and there is this big giant pirate ship. Neon lit pirate ship, like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean. And they're arguing about how they're going to get through the flood, to which point Finn says, "We're not going to walk through it, we're going to sail through it."
Yeah,
and they jump on the pirate ship,
and then all that's missing in the background is.
Oh man, it should have done it. It really should have done it. Even if they just changed the key a little bit, just to imply that that's what they were doing.
As we go through this, I'm going to mention numerous times I don't understand how they didn't get sued, but I don't understand how they didn't get sued.
I don't either. I really don't.
Like, it's not even like taking a bit and trying to like make it your own. It's just going, that was a really cool scene in that movie. We're going to have that and do it word for word, but worse.
Yeah, but they're so bold as brash when they do it as well. They just don't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, this is a Fast and Furious bit. Oh yeah, we're going to go on here, and this is going to be our Pirates of the Caribbean bit.
Yeah, this opening scene is like a climax to this sort of movie. And honestly, it was fucking atrocious. And to top it all off, they don't actually fight off the Sharknado. It just like meanders off into the desert.
Yeah,
like
they just ride the wave through it.
They just ride the wave and the Sharknado goes away. And I sat there, then you get like the opening credits where it's like, shark! And I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm ready to do this again.
Go, 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 go. Run away from the Sharknado. The thing is as well, though, you're right. This felt like a climax of a movie.
Yeah.
And I messaged you. I even messaged you. I was like, dude, man, like, I feel like I'm at the end of the film and I'm only 15 minutes in. And then bang, these opening credit sequences. I'm like, oh my God, what have I got myself in for? This is going to be the wildest ride I've ever been
on. We see a girl going for a run and she jogs back to a lab and she's got like a hood up. And when she gets to the lab, Gary Busey is there. And I'm now fully back on board. It's like, it's Gary Busey. Why would Gary
fucking Busey as one of the most intelligent men on the planet? And he plays it perfectly.
Yeah, and why wouldn't he be there? I mean, it makes perfect sense. With no drama and no build-up whatsoever, this girl removes her hood, and it's April, who clearly died in the last movie. But Gary Busey plays her dad, and he has rebuilt her. Think like
he's a mad scientist in essence.
Yeah, think like the Terminator if you had £8.50 to build a T-800. That's what she is.
Oh, it's so good.
She has an interchangeable Swiss Army hand, complete with
great.
Lightsaber.
Well, mate, when she pulled the lightsaber out as well.
And says,
may the force be with you.
This movie has no shame.
Her training montage throughout this film is fucking excellent.
Yeah, she's like punching a pad, and then she like changes her hand, and then it's like a mini chainsaw, and then she changes her hand again, and it's a lightsaber. She's like, feel the force flow through you. It's like, oh man, stop.
The thing is as well, like when she's doing like the punching on the bag and things like that, and all the rest of the montage training stuff that she does, you can clearly see that she's filmed that in normal time, and then they've just sped it up to try and make it look cool. They've just not even tried to cover up the fact that they're just playing it in faster speed.
No, and she's really annoyed. She's annoyed with her dad because she's been told that her entire family was dead. She was told Finn was dead and her kids were dead, and now she knows they're not because she's seen them on the news. And she escapes by punching a door all the way down a corridor to go and find them. Now, Finn and his nephew, or niece, sorry, and his son and his daughter-in-law leave Vegas and they're going back to Kansas, and they get a train, which is immediately chased by a Sharknado.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, the Sharknadoes are chasing Finn. Okay, that's quite cool. It's like a Jaws the Revenge kind of thing, but no, they're just randomly chasing a train. There's not that.
This is a Rocknado as well, by the way, not a Sharknado.
It has sharks in it too.
Yeah, but they classify it as a Rocknado.
Yeah,
because there is many variations of Nados in this, so we need to be clear on which one's which. Let's get this right. People deserve the right to know the facts.
This scene is so stupid. The driver at the front of the train is calling to like control, going, do I stop the train? Do I stop the train? Do I pull the emergency brake? And then he gets his head bitten off by a shark, which for somehow Finn instantly knows that there's now no driver. And he climbs up on the train and he sends his son underneath the train.
Yep.
And there's no emergency air brake in any compartment on this train that they could just pull it and make it stop like a normal train.
No, because that wouldn't work in the movie, would it?
So Finn goes all the way across the top of the train.
Like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and bare knuckle boxes and like hand wrestles sharks with rocks impaled in them.
And this is the thing as well. This is how much of a Mission Impossible ripoff this scene is that you even get to the point where in the closing act of the first Mission Impossible movie where Tom Cruise is wrestling Angelina Jolie's dad. I always forget his name.
John Voight.
John Voight. And he holds his head out to get hit by the passing like stoplight or something like that in the tunnel. He does the same thing with that shark. Like it's scene for scene. That's how much this film has no shame.
Yeah. So his son goes under and uncouples the carriage, and Finn gets to the front and pulls the emergency air brake, and the train stops. And then the Sharknado just drifts away again. And just by pure chance it's heading towards Kansas.
Oh, but but you've also got Elon Musk who blows up the Grand Canyon to stop the flood, which the flood apparently is now following them. I don't know where this flood keeps coming from.
No, I don't.
Especially considering how much they need water in the closing act. It blows my mind that the fucking flood keeps following them up until the point where they actually need it.
He blows up the Grand Canyon and causes it to cave in to stop the water flow. Oh, it's something.
It fucking is, yeah.
I want to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre town, and I want to talk about it a lot.
Yes.
So they need a weapon. Finn needs a chainsaw to fight off the Sharknado, because without his chainsaw, he's like Myers without his knife. He's useless.
This is a Firenado by this point, isn't it?
Not yet. It gets to a Firenado in a minute. But when they get there, they find a shop that says Chainsaw Shop. And when you go in it, it is the like truck stop from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, almost like recreated inside.
Yeah,
but
you've got Dog the Bounty Hunter as the
Dog
lead
the
man of
Bounty
the
Hunter and the wife, and then the son is called Gunner, and he's wearing a leather apron holding a chainsaw.
Yeah, and the wife is Screech from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yeah,
that's her. She's Screech. So that's just perfect casting, because she's just like, the Saw is family. And I'm like, this is amazing.
And I'm going to say it again. How did they not get sued?
And I don't know if the actor who they refer to, because they don't even say he's Leatherface. They call him Gunner, as if to say like Gunnar Hansen, the actor who played the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But I feel like I don't know, but if I did my research, I imagine that he has played Leatherface at some point in his career, but they call him Gunner from Texas Chainsaw 1. But yeah, Screech being in it was fucking cool to see her. I don't know why Dog the Bounty Hunter was was here in this moment, but it was cool as shit that it was.
It was, and like Finn, now armed with this small little chainsaw, heads out into the street to face off against a weather system full of sharks. And he's got the budget. They say it as well. They call themselves the Sawyer family.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, why?
It's excellent. How could you not enjoy this so much, man? It was so cool.
So as they get outside, the Sharknado hits the oil fields and it becomes an oil-nado, immediately igniting and becoming a fire-nado.
Yeah. Yeah. So we get the two incarnations here. Yeah, we get the oil nado and the fire nado.
Yeah, back to back. And this is where Finn decides that his like pound shop chainsaw probably isn't man enough. He's like, we need something else. And then he literally turns and goes, what's that under that giant tarpaulin? And he pulls it off, and there's a forklift truck with a chainsaw on the end. Explain to me why that's there.
I don't know. You don't need to explain it. It's fucking awesome. That's why it's there.
That all he does with this is he gets in it and he lifts the like end up so it's in the sky and it's cutting up sharks. And then he shouts to the others, we need fire extinguishers.
Yeah, it felt very underwhelming, I'll be honest.
And the Sawyer family go, we've got some fire extinguishers round the back. And round the back, like in a perfect line against a fence, there's like 5 fire extinguishers that they've obviously just nicked from somewhere on set that needed them. Finn loads them into the forklift truck with the giant chainsaw on the front, and it gets sucked up into the tornado. He then goes, gun, and someone throws him a gun in dramatic fashion, and he shoots one of the fire extinguishers that puts out the mile-high oil fire in an instant.
Well, yeah, because like obviously in the other ones, he's taken them out with bombs, which detonates the water. In this one, obviously the fire extinguisher is going to detonate the fire ones. It's perfect logic. Why are you not understanding what's going on here?
Because he's only got 4 fire extinguishers that wouldn't put out a fire on my desk.
Dude, they put one out with a fucking firework later on. Let's not concentrate too much on the fire extinguishers.
And after they've done this, again, the Sharknado, feeling the bitter pain of defeat, just goes away. Just drifts away.
It's got to compose itself to come back later on with a vengeance. Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Sharknado. God. It becomes a Moonado next, or a Calnado. And they've got a guy for the news station who's chasing the Sharknadoes around. Who is he?
I don't know. He's that guy with that real annoying voice. Who's on like
that guy.
Yeah, today we got the Sharknado. Oh, look, it's turned into a Cownado. He's like a really very popular American figure, and everyone who listens to this show is screaming at us, being like, "Oh, he's like a national treasure to us here in America." He's a dick.
He is hilarious.
Oh, he's so annoying, and he's in like loads of Adam Sandler movies as well.
Yeah, the thing is that he's meant to be annoying, but every time he's on, he's like, "And now you won't believe it. It's a Cownado. It's picked up cows." And every time he said it, I was like, "I like you. You're weird."
Yeah, I've seen a few of his like stand-up, not in its entirety, but I've seen a few bits of his stand-ups and stuff on social media, and he is quite a funny guy, to be fair to him. But he just has this real annoying voice. Do you know who we have here in the UK who is the equivalent? Joe Pesci. Not Joe. What? Yeah. Joe? Is it Joe Pesci? Who's that guy who's got that real annoying squeaky voice?
Joe Pasquale.
Joe Pasquale. He's the American version of Joe Pasquale.
Yeah, very much so. And if anyone doesn't know who that is, go Google Joe Pasquale.
Don't do that. Fuck
we now meet the governor of Chicago, who's been popping up periodically to blame Finn for everything on the news with no reason at all. Just she's a spiteful bitch. I didn't like her at all. I'm not going to dwell on her too much at the moment. All I'm going to say is she was wearing red shoes and had black and white striped tights on. And that's all you need to know about this character.
The thing is, as well, when you get to that scene that you're referring to, I had to go back to make sure that she was wearing that outfit.
And she was.
She was, yeah.
Because I spotted it and just like eye rolled.
But they build it up as well. It's like, Finn Shepard, you are a law unto your own. We're going to get you. Yeah. So they build her up to be the bad, wicked witch of the West in this.
Yeah, and I need to say it now. So every Sharknado movie I've made Lisa watch with me. She's watched the entire franchise along with you and me. She was cursing you for this one. Number 3, she tolerated. This one, she's like, "This is fucking awful. Tell Mark when I fucking see him."
I hope you make her watch part 5.
She agreed when we done the very first Sharknado that she'd watch all of them. Every time one got voted on the show, she'd do it.
Oh, well, there's more of a reason for everybody to vote Sharknado 5.
Yeah, make me suffer, thanks. Now, Finn and his team are trying to get to Kansas to get to his mum and Gil. And his mum and Gil are locked themselves in the storm shelter. And Gil is an idiot. And when they get there, Gil gets out of the storm shelter to go to run to his dad. If he'd have stayed in the storm shelter with his grandmother, he would have been fine. Because after what happens in a minute, she's still there and she's fine. I don't know how to describe this scene.
No. Before we get there, though, I just want to quickly touch on one scene prior to this because I feel like it's important to the overall franchise. The Steve Guttenberg cameo where they get in Christine.
Oh, I forgot all about Christine.
Yeah. They introduce her and he gives them Christine to drive, and it's like the self-driving car. I thought it was going to be a Kit reference for Knight Rider for the Hoff.
Yeah,
it was a Christine reference, but Steve Guttenberg, and he talks about how he's having to battle some spiders.
Yeah,
it's because of the
Larvantula.
Yeah, they're made by the same people, and it's a crossover thing. I don't know if Finn Shepard goes over into the Larvantula. He does. Does he actually go over?
Yeah.
That is excellent.
When
always thinking of a reason not to do Larvantula, but
when we've done Sharknado, Larvantula will be the next franchise that replaces it. I think. I forgot all. I literally. I can't get across to anyone who's not seen this, like how much happens, and at the pace it happens. So this scene with Christine is like less
20
less
seconds,
than
30 seconds.
Yeah, It's like I need a car. Oh, my friend's here. I've got a car, and the Christine car just drives up all on its own. Like, oh, you can borrow Christine. She's really good to me. I've got to go. I'm fighting spiders. Don't worry, we don't need your help at the moment. It's like, and then it's on to something else.
Yeah, that's how quick succession it is. It's insane. There is so much blink and you miss it stuff in this movie. Whether that's a fault of the film itself or not, I don't know, because I haven't seen anything prior to this movie. I hope going into part 5 they do kind of rein it back a little bit, because this one did feel a little bit too much, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, what happens next? You get the house is swept up like the Wizard of Oz, and there's a bit when they're flying through the sky that the cousin actually says, "We're not in Kansas anymore," and I was like, "Why? Why did you do it? Why did you say it?" But they get swept up, and like, I'm going to leave it there. So while this house is whizzing through the Sharknado from Kansas on its way to Chicago, we catch up with David Hasselhoff. He is the man in every movie he's in. He's great in this. He's so cheesy and hammy, and I'm fully on board. And he works for the billionaire, for Ashton, and he's developing a suit to stop Sharknadoes, maybe. I'm not quite sure what the suit's for.
Sharknadoes, I think. I'm not too sure. I feel like he's indebted to them because he brought him back from the moon.
Yeah, and like a Sharknado hits the area where Hasselhoff is, and he's comedy gold. Like him getting his granddaughter out of there because she's there as well. That whole escape sequence where they're sort of getting outside, and how they didn't put him in Kit from Knight Rider, I'll never know. But like, while that's going on, everything he says and does is hilarious. And we've also got April arrives at the same time. Did you catch the Spider-Man reference where she catches the car above the kid and goes, "It's okay, kid. You go to your mum now"? I was like,
oh, it's so on the nose, isn't it? It's terrible. It really is. It's terrible. It's shameless, and it just has no fucks given in the way that it displays everything that it does in this film. It's wild. It's wild. But did you see the way that these people run?
No.
Like David Hasselhoff cannot run. So his run to the car to get in it is brilliant. But not just that, the worst one of them all is Tara Reid's running sequence as she leaves the complex and she's running towards where she interacts with David Hasselhoff. And she does that weird backflip over the garbage can thing.
Yes.
And you can see like the cuts between the stunt person and Tara Reid then joining back in. Honestly, man, it's brilliant. It's brilliant for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, you've now got April Hasselhoff and the granddaughter are now in one team, and they're rounded up by Ashton, the billionaire, and put on this horrifically CGI'd superjet that's flying round for the whole movie. This thing's in the sky. It's like the X-Men jet.
Yeah.
We also see Ashton telling his team that they need to find a way to stop the Sharknadoes. And they bounce around a few ideas, and they, after a bit of planning, they have a way to do it. And they basically change the way that they've programmed these pods, and they stop 2 of the Sharknadoes fairly easy. They just kind of pulse them and they just die, which is cool. Now, the other Sharknado, the one that's remaining, that's been a Sharknado, it's been a Sandnado, it's been a Shark Sandnado, it's been a rock shark sandnado. It's been an oil nado and a fire nado, and now it's just a cow nado. It's now just a normal nado with sharks in it, and it drops the house that Finn and Gil and the cousin are in, and it drops it on the governor of Chicago, crushing her, leaving only her exposed striped tights and red shoes.
Wizard off, perfect.
Like it set up the perfect robbery for a small child to come and commit. And I'm going to say it again. How did they not get sued?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it's on that level of like spoof, isn't it? At this point,
yeah,
it's like a scary movie level of taking all iconic scenes and interactions from high quality movies and just taking the piss out of them. But it's not necessarily taking the piss out of them. It's just stealing them to form a script.
Yeah, and this is the point where they kind of all meet up and they're all picked up by Ashton in the jet. and they hear that the remaining Sharknado has gone nuclear as it ripped through a nuclear power station.
Yeah, buy it.
It's a nuclear NATO now. Ashton comes up with a plan. He's got some device that will reverse the flow of water. I'm going to say this kind of how it's said in the movie and just check if everyone's with me. So this device will reverse the flow of water in Niagara Falls and fire it up into the Sharknado, which will wash away the radiation, turning it back into a normal Sharknado so they can then use the pulse things to switch it off.
Yeah. So basically, the reasons why the pulse things that they have managed to keep the Sharknadoes at bay for the past 5 years, the reason why those are not working is because the Sharknadoes, on typical Nados themselves, are adapting, and then we're getting these different variations such as fire, oil, cows, sand, that they're not working against them because the technology they've built only deals with water-based Sharknadoes.
Yeah.
So the other elements that they're incorporating, they don't deal with. So what they need to do in order to counteract the nuclear Nado is fulfill it with water to wash away the nuclear. So therefore, the pulsing system that they already have in place will work.
Yeah,
I didn't understand the necessary inclusion of the batteries and all the rest of it in order to make this process work.
No, and let's be honest, we all know that just normal river water will wash away any nuclear effects from a power plant meltdown, so that's fine.
I mean, to give it credit, though, a little bit, it's trying at least.
Kind of.
At this point in the movie, it really didn't need to.
No.
Because we were just... it was just like, what the fuck is happening anyway?
Anyone who made
tried.
Yeah, anyone who made it this far through is invested now, and they're seeing it through to the end, regardless.
Exactly that.
Gil meets his mum, and he doesn't like her very much. And I'm only mentioning this because it comes full circle later in one of the worst scenes I've ever witnessed in a movie in my entire life.
Yeah,
So
but he's been drawing as a shark, hasn't he? We got that scene earlier on where there was drawing his family, and it was like Finn, Matt, Hoff's granddaughter, and then he wrote Mummy, but like Mummy was a picture of a shark, so he thinks his mum's a shark.
Yeah, we'll come back to that when we get to that scene, because honestly, it's the worst thing ever put to screen, and honestly, I almost turned it off. Long and short of it, Ashton jumps out of the plane and he skydives down to set this thing near Niagara Falls, and he fails and he falls to his death off the side of Niagara Falls. So Finn now goes, "It's my time to shine. I've killed 3 Sharknadoes already. I'm going to kill a 4th." And they land the X-Men plane and everyone gets out. So you've got Finn, you've got April, you've got Hasselhoff, you've got Finn's son, you've got Gil, you've got the older person, you've got the unnamed girl, and they all kind of go and do their thing. But before they do that, they get a video call from Gary Busey, who reveals a suit that Hasselhoff can wear to get inside the Sharknado. Brace yourselves, because what I'm about to say is insane, like more than I've said all the way through.
I was going to say, fucking hell.
On the ground, David Hasselhoff meets 2 girls who are former cast members of a popular TV series from the 90s called Baywatch.
Yep.
And they have some bad dialogue about how lifeguard pay isn't very good, which is why there's no lifeguards at Niagara Falls, and how one of them wanted their mums wanted her to get a degree, so she'd done that instead of continuing an acting career. And then we get some slow motion Baywatch running before they get zapped by nuclear sharks and disappear.
Do you know what the most underwhelming thing about this scene was? Is that they're clearly wearing their Baywatch costumes underneath their Elon Musk uniform, because you see the red stripe poking out from the shirt and a little bit flaring from the bottom. And I was like, oh, maybe the shark's going to go past and like zap their clothes off so they're in their Baywatch costumes and then kill them. But it didn't. Missed opportunity.
Hasselhoff is about to get into the suit and then gets eaten. Finn's eldest son gets eaten. The unknown girl gets eaten. Gil gets put in a barrel to keep him safe. And honestly, when they put him in the barrel, I was like, Why are you putting him in the only thing that's not bolted down?
Well, they try to bolt it down, don't they, with the chain?
Yeah, before she gets eaten. And then the barrel gets whisked into the air and then gets dropped in the river. And you get this, I don't know, it's like an old Western movie where the barrel is going down the river and it's going to go off Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Finn is now in the mech suit, and Finn in the mech suit is awesome. I can't take it away.
No, it's
so
cool.
cool.
As shit, man.
He gets the device working and reverses the water, and it's going up into the Nado, and he's chopping sharks left and right with the chainsaws that weren't on the mech suit earlier, but now are.
Oh, no, you missed it, though. How does he break through the Sharknado? Because he can't penetrate through in his suit, because it's a nuclear nado, but he needs to get through the middle of the Sharknado to be able to get to the battery. How does he possibly get there?
See, I know you're excited.
Force field.
I know you're so excited to tell us. I'll let you tell us. How does he get through
it? Calling Iron Woman. April is geared up to the max. Now I'm talking full genetic modifications, and she is now Iron Woman and has thrusters from her feet and can fly. She can fly, and she flies up alongside the Sharknado and zaps a hole with her actual Iron Man hand and causes like some little force field like Doctor Strange so he can zap through and get to the battery. One of the coolest things I have seen in cinematic history.
Yeah, and this is where April hears Gil calling, and this is the scene that broke me. So you get, Mummy, please help me. And you followed by, Gilly, don't worry, I'm coming, which literally plays on a loop, that repeated for the entire scene. Now, she flies down into the water like Iron Woman. She's pulling him from a barrel. And she's clearly laid on a floor in front of a green screen, putting her hand in like a bucket or something, which is fine. I can handle that. What I can't handle is neither her or Gil are wet. Like, they are fully submerged in water on the screen, and her hair is bone dry and it's blowing in the wind. And I sat there.
Honestly,
this is the worst.
The level of green screen and CGI in this movie is absurd. It really is. But again, you just kind of have to take it for what it is. It really is one of those movies.
She saves Gil, and the device works, kills the nuclear part of the Sharknado, but not before Finn is eaten by 5 sharks in a row. So one shark swallows Finn whole, another shark swallows that shark, and then that shark, and then that shark. So you've got like this, like a montage of sharks eating sharks and Finn's in the middle. I want
like
your
one of those
honest...
little what are those little doll things that you
the stacking. Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you mean. I want your honest opinion. Gil and the chainsaw in the stone.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I didn't particularly like Gil in this at all. Like, this movie was daft enough as it is without introducing him as being such a pivotal character in the film. Like, I could have quite happily taken him not being here. So when he became such a pivotal focus of the final act, I was a bit disappointed, I'll be honest.
Why was there a chainsaw that's about 8 inches long embedded in a rock for him to pull it out in the first place?
Because they were like, we've ripped off 50, 60 movies now. What other movies could we possibly rip off at this point? And they are running thin on Disney animations from the 60s.
So Gil gets this little chainsaw and he starts cutting into a shark. And this reveals his brother. And then he's still cutting away because he knows that this is the shark that ate his dad. And he's cutting away. And then his grandfather.
It was a whale at the end, wasn't it? It was a blue whale.
There was a blue whale. Sorry, that swallowed.
Why was there a blue whale in the Sharknado?
I don't know, but the blue whale swallowed all of the sharks. But basically, he cuts free all of his family, and then April comes in with her lightsaber and cuts a hole and sort of comes in, and then finally.
Do you know what the best thing about this is? Is that you're trying to dissect this in a serious manner, and I think it's brilliant.
And then Finn comes out, and they're all a happy family again. they get out and they're surveying the damage of what's happened, and all the Sharknadoes are gone now. They've killed them all, and then there's this big gust of wind, and slowly descending from the sky is a broken part of the Eiffel Tower with Nova stood on it.
Yeah,
I missed
awesome.
Nova, and I said Nova before Finn worked it out.
Yeah, but I mean, it was obvious though, because as soon as they have this scene earlier on in Kansas where they're pulling down the weapons from the barn, and they talk about Nova and how she's vacating in Paris, and they're like, "Oh, we're glad Nova's not here and she's on a nice holiday in Paris." And then as soon as I saw the Eiffel Tower, I was like, "Yeah, Nova is riding the Eiffel Tower."
Yeah, and she was literally like stood on it, like she's standing on it and like holding it with a hook like Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it was cool as shit, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." Clearly, she was busy to not be in this movie, but I hope she comes back for the next.
Yeah, we see Ashton climb out of the water below, so he survived his fall from Niagara Falls. He's fine. And then the credits roll, and it goes into this montage of almost like animated highlights of the last 4 movies.
How quick was this credit sequence? Like, it rolled by in like 13 seconds.
It did. I didn't give you time to see who anyone was or pause it. The only thing I did spot in there was a special thanks to Lucasfilm.
Oh, really? Oh, that's nice.
So I'm guessing that they went, "We'd like to use lightsabers in our movie," and George Lucas went, "Do you know what? Yeah, why not?"
The thing is, though, like, even though they've given special thanks in this film, I felt like they did more Star Wars ripoff in the 3rd movie than they did in this, other than obviously using stupid lines like "May the Force be with you" and a couple of lightsaber scenes. Like, that entire closing act of Sharknado 3 with Finn's lightsaber suit that he wears was just an entire Star Wars fucking blatant ripoff. So, like, to do the thanks in this, they must have been like, "Oh, we better at least give them a nod so they don't sue us."
There should have been a special apology to each individual movie studio that they ripped off.
I'll tell you now, if that was the case, the credit sequence wouldn't have been 13 seconds long.
Do you know what? I need a minute. Let's take a break. Calling all Red Dwarf fans, calling all Red Dwarf fans. Do you struggle to find a good podcast that covers Red Dwarf? Struggle no longer. The Aardvark and the Magic Moshi Do Red Dwarf is the ultimate guide to the Red Dwarf universe, covering individual episodes and discussion about the series as a whole, even featuring guests who've appeared in the series itself. Available on all good podcast platforms and yourunpodcast.com. Please note, smegheads need not apply. So make sure you go out and check the Aardvark and the Magic Moshi Do Red Dwarf, available on yourunpodcast.com, along with all the other You Run Podcast Network members as well. 3-word reviews were in short supply because, including us and the cast, there is only a handful of people who have seen this movie. Over on X, Dewey Podmonster, part of the You Run Podcast Network, great podcast. Need more words. Yes. Describing this in 3 words is almost impossible. Over on Instagram, hey internet, Eric here, lots of fun, and they're a YouTuber. K Scallon, somehow incredibly entertaining, and they're a horror account. Bloody Babble, Hasselhoff Beach Bod, they're a horror account. Marc's arch nemesis, randomly Eric, who's also a really cool book account. Lots fucking cameos.
Yeah. As much as it pains me, I have to agree with him on that one.
And finally, Watch with C, who's a movie reviewer. Dear God, why? Which I think is fair. TikTok talks. Not about this movie, they don't. TikTok
got nothing.
TikTok had nothing. We did get a really genuinely heartfelt, lovely message from Chunky Larry to you to commemorate your 100th episode. And TikTok muted his video.
Oh, why?
I don't know. TikTok have got a thing at the moment. They're muting loads. I had like 7 videos muted last week. I've said a word that upset the Chinese supreme leader or something, and they've muted me. I don't know.
So I'm never going to get to hear that message.
No, it was along the lines of he loves you, he thinks you're great, you're awesome, you're like a celebrity. It was a really heartfelt, like 2-minute long message. So
I love that. I love Chunky Larry. Again, I
Yeah.
said he's very cuddly, and yeah, I stand by it.
Thanks, Larry. Anyway, I think it's time for you to get your notes, just because it's your 100th episode. You don't get a day off.
No, not indeed. I haven't seen it special.
Go! It's that time of the week. Time for Marc to recommend an account. Yay!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Recommended Account of the Week. I don't know why I did that. That just kind of came out of nowhere then. I do apologise.
Are you okay?
I'm 100 episodes in. I'm feeling a little bit tipsy. It's okay. I should really compose myself because I know I've got a game to play later on.
You have.
So this week's recommended account of the week is Halloween 78 game. This is a sort of not really an account recommendation, but a mobile game recommendation. I don't play a lot of mobile games on my phone. However, there is a new game out on mobile phones, which is a Halloween 78 based mobile game, which is a match 3. And I love match 3 games when I get the time to play them, and they get me in and they get me hooked. And I'm like one of those people who plays Candy Crush till they die. I had one on my phone many years ago that was called Disco Bees. If anybody else played Disco Bees other than me, please message me in and let me know, because I was obsessed with that game for many, many years. It was a match 3 game where you swiped bees and had to get them colours in line, and it was crazy, but I fucking loved every minute of it. However, there is a Halloween one. So for all you Halloween fans and horror nerds out there, we finally have an officially licensed Halloween mobile game, which is a match 3 based game on Google Play, iPhones, whatever that sort of market thing is. It's great. It's very, very much made by a fan of the movies. Obviously, it's a match 3 game, so you match up 3 colors and it swipes down and you have to do tasks and things like that. But it's all very much themed around the original 1978 John Carpenter's Halloween movie. They have the official licensed score playing throughout it. You have sound cues throughout, and you have this. The way they build it up is you have Michael Myers stood at the top of a staircase, and then you obviously, as your moves diminish, he slowly makes his way down the staircase before he finally stabs you if you didn't complete certain levels within an amount of moves that you have allocated. You get cameo appearances from Dr. Loomis and Laurie Strode and all the rest of it. It's honestly, I'm underselling how fun this game is. For a Halloween fan, this game is just such an entertaining waste of time. If you're one of those people like me who have a family who spend most of your free time in the bathroom because that's the only excuse you get to sneak away for 20 minutes and scroll the internet, this game is perfect for you. I've been playing it for about a week now. And just to let you know as well, this isn't just like some sort of cheap knockoff that we kind of get on these Play Store apps. This is an officially licensed Halloween game. They have the approval from the company to make this. So they're doing updates and stuff like that. They've recently just done a Valentine's Day one where you have to play so many levels and you get certain Love Heart quests to decorate the Strode house and things like that. It's a really thought out, well in-depth game, and I encourage everybody to get involved in it and support it and play it. It's really, really cool. And even more so, just send me where you're at with levels and stuff like that. Let's get a competition going. Let's see who can get the highest score and the highest levels. And I'll tell you what, I'll even go out there and I'll put a thing out and we'll do like some sort of, I don't know, we'll do some sort of timetable or score chart, and highest score wins. I'll buy you a You Run Podcast t-shirt. Let's do that.
Okay. Okay. That's good. I'm going to play.
Yeah. Let's get on it. Let's get on it. Let's show it support, because it's a cool little game. And you know what the thing is as well? Like things like that on mobile phones, they draw a lot of attention. They draw a lot of attraction. And I feel like more horror-based games would be a lot of fun. I mean, this one's great for a Halloween fan, but if they made a Friday the 13th one or a Nightmare on Elm Street one or a Texas Chainsaw Massacre one, I think they'd be cool and I'd play them all. And I just think,
how about a Sharknado one?
I would live and breathe that. I would quit my job tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. And I play match 3 games. I'm not going to tell you the one I'm playing because I'm slightly ashamed if I say it out loud.
Please tell us. Please tell us. Is it like that thing from Brooklyn Nine-Nine where he plays what do they call it in that show?
No,
Crazy
I play.
cupcakes with a K.
No, I play the Harry Potter match 3.
Oh, dude.
I know.
Hang your head. Get this one, though. This is cool. Honestly, it's really
Yeah.
fun. And like Dr. Loomis and things like that. And then they have certain levels based on. I'm just kind of hoping they expand it to the rest of the movie. So they'll include like Daniel Harris's Halloween 4 character and things. We get Jamie Lloyd popping up and stuff. It's very much 1978 based at the moment. But they're actively working on it. They're getting updates out all the time for it. So it's cool for horror fans. And I think you'd enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, okay. Well, go download it. And yeah, if they do Halloween 3, I'm fully on board. The best Halloween.
I hope they do, because that would be cool. I'd play it.
Yeah. Let's do some facts. When Finn and his mystery friend get to Las Vegas, there's a scene where they go into the hotel and one of the Chippendales talks to Finn. And he says, "Oh, if you ever want to guest host at the club, you like come down and dance with us. You're more than welcome to." Now, this is because Ian Ziering, the real life guy who plays Finn Shepard, done a guest stint in Las Vegas as a Chippendale for a year.
No way. As his character of Finn?
No. As Ian Ziering, he'd done a guest stint as a member of the Chippendales in Vegas. I'm guessing for an exorbitant amount of money.
Oh, definitely.
Which I thought was amazing. And like the guy who said, "Oh, if you ever want to do a guest spot, there's always like a slot open for you." That was the guy who was on tour with Finn at the time.
Oh, that's so cool, though. That makes so much more sense. And that's what I was saying earlier about the cameos and stuff. If you know them all, I can imagine you would get a lot of entertainment from them early on. But for us, I just missed quite a lot of them.
Yeah. One of the things that I think everyone will have missed, there's a license plate of one of the cars in Vegas that is SNTAMRA, which is a callback to Sharknado 2, the second one, the Santa Maria Airlines from the opening. It is the Santa Maria Airlines number that's on the side of the plane. So they put effort into this.
I'm just so surprised.
Did you know there's a character called Petunia, who's a stuffed opossum, which has made an appearance in every single Sharknado movie?
Really?
Yeah, every single one. There's a stuffed opossum. This is the first time I heard of it, and then I had to go and find all the other appearances of Petunia. She could be seen in the Chainsaw Shop when they're doing the Texas Chainsaw ripoff. When I read the fact for that, it was when they're doing the Texas Chainsaw homage. I was like, that's not a homage at all. The character Captain Fett is played by the actor who played young Boba Fett. So, you know, when you're meeting a lot of the soldiers, there's one called Captain Fett. He is the actor who played the young Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones. So he played the little boy. Oh, okay. Well, it's a Star Wars one.
That's what I'm saying, though. There's so many that you don't get, isn't there?
When they go to blow up the Grand Canyon, when they fly in, you've got Ashton going, "Stay on target, stay on target, stay on target," which is a direct quote from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, when Gold 5 says the exact words to Gold Leader, stay on target, as they're approaching the Death Star.
Mate, honestly, if you're going to go down this route with facts, we're going to be here all day just quoting other movies because there are so many in this film.
Do you know, you make a really good point.
Told you, I want to play a game.
No, that wasn't a cue for you to do that.
They will say that I have shed innocent blood.
The power of Christ compels you.
What have you done to its eyes?
Well, it's elevated horror.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare.
You're going to like it.
I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end.
How was that, the slaughterhouse?
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Oh, I know this one, you fuck.
Just remember, you cut facts short to make that happen.
Do you know what? While that music was playing, then I had like a real sort of sudden moment of realization where I thought, I've drank a lot of beers tonight. in
Yeah,
celebration
I
of my
have.
100th episode. And I
I
was like,
have as well.
just questioning my process here and why I should have stayed sober, knowing that this was coming.
You have tried to break Broken Spirit a couple of times, and you've got to question 15 before and question 14 before.
Yeah.
And twice you've left with 0 points.
Yeah.
So today we have a mix of questions. We have some listener supplied questions. We have some questions supplied by me. And we have something that I know you're going to find incredibly joyous. It's going to fill you with happiness. We have some questions. We've got some questions written by our part-time AI co-host Gladys.
Ah, fuck off! No, because she does me dirty every single time.
Gladys's questions this time I've kept fairly simple. Gladys has written. I asked her for fairly simple questions that had very clear, defined answers, so you can't accuse her of cheating again. And I even said, Mark will accuse you of cheating. She is. Rules are simple. It's 15 questions. You can stop the game and walk away with your points at any time. If you give a wrong answer, you leave with 0 points and the game is over. You are trying to catch Barry of Wolfman's Got Nards, who's got 90 points, or you're trying to be the first person to break Broken Spirit. Are you ready?
Oh, this is so hard because the thing is, I like to go all the way.
Yeah, do you know what's
done dirty twice?
And to add a level of extra pressure, because we now do this via video, you can't have as long to think about it, because when it goes out on podcast, it will be dead air for a long time. So I'm going to pressure you for answers. So question number 1. This comes from Chaz Presley, who's a great account and a filmmaker on Instagram. What is the only movie directed by Stephen King?
Maximum Overdrive, the one with the truck.
That's correct. 10 points.
I haven't seen it, but I know it was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Question number 2. So over to you, Gladys.
True or false? In the movie Psycho, Norman Bates dresses his mother's corpse in his own clothes to create the illusion that she's still alive.
That's hard to process what she's saying. I want to say true because he does dress up as his mother to give the illusion that she's still alive. Is that what she was implying?
That's what she was implying.
So I'm going to say true.
That is correct. Well done, you're on 20 points.
She's sneaky though. She makes it sound so much worse than the question actually is.
This is one of mine. How many Sharknado movies are there?
Oh, we've just had this conversation.
I said it at the beginning of the episode. I did.
You said 6. You said
I did.
You did. You said 6, right?
I did say 6. Yeah, I did.
6.
Okay,
I was paying attention.
You've got Sharknado. You've got Sharknado, the second one. You've got Oh Hell No, The Fourth Awakens, Global Swarming, and the last Sharknado, It's About Time.
Oh man, I'm so glad I accused this franchise of having 9 movies on this episode.
We've got a question from Jay at the Girl and the Gay podcast, newest member of the podcast network as well. What was the first horror picture to win the Best Picture Oscar? Not to be nominated, the first one to win it.
Oh, that is so hard. Because I want to say between The Exorcist or Silence of the Lambs, and I don't know which one to go with.
Did The Exorcist win it, or did Silence of the Lambs win it? I know only one of those 2 movies won it.
Silence of the Lambs definitely won it. So if you know that only one of them won it, then it's got to be Silence of the Lambs.
That's correct. 40 points.
You delay, man. That was naughty. But Exorcist was nominated, right?
It was nominated but didn't win. Question
that was
number
real
5
from you.
It was, sorry. Question number 5.
True or false? The iconic mask worn by Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th franchise originally belonged to another character.
Originally belonged to another character?
True or false? The hockey mask that Jason wears, that was originally someone else's property. True or false?
Well, yeah, because it wasn't Jason's. He took it from a barn in part 3. So therefore it belonged to the person in the barn that he took it from. It wasn't his own property to use. Oh, Gladys is such a trickster. So I'm going to say he took it from a barn, so it's not his property.
That's correct. 50 points. Question number 6.
Word the things where she words them. It's not fair.
This is one of mine. In Halloween 1978, Michael Myers escapes and heads to Haddonfield on what day of the year?
Oh, no, don't do this to me. The 31st of October. But is it the 30th of October that he heads to Haddonfield? And
what day did he escape?
Is it the 30th he escapes? He escapes. He's got to escape on the 30th because the day after it's daylight and they're checking the hardware store where he's broken into, which means that the night before, because it was a nighttime when he escaped from the asylum, surely that's just a day, and then we have the build-up with Laurie in school and everything else. So I'm going to say that he escaped on the 30th of October, 1978.
That's correct.
Yes!
60 points. Question number 7. This comes from the other half of the Girl and the Gay podcast, Becky. What city were they flying to before the premonition in the original Final Destination movie?
Paris.
That's correct. 70 points. You're absolutely killing it.
That was one of those ones where it was like instantly in my brain and I was not 100% sure that was right.
Question number 8. This comes from the queen of TikTok herself, Lady Crisis. How many times is Evil Dies Tonight said in Halloween Kills? Now, I'm going to give you some multiple choice here, and there is
fucking hell.
And there's no definitive answers, so these are amount ranges. So was it said 3 to 5 times, 6 to 11 times, 15 to 20 times, or 30 to 41 times? And this includes the amount of times it was said when the crowd was chanting it.
It's got to be D. 31 to 40, did you say?
30 to 41, you going to go with that?
Surely to God that was said.
So it's every time a character said it, including the times they were chanting, including the times they were chanting.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be D. It's got to be D.
That's correct. I rewatched it to try and get a definitive answer. I counted 31, but there are people online who think it's 41. There are people who think it's 40, but all of them are well over 30.
I would have said it was even higher than the 40s, to be honest with you. I was surprised that the numbers were so low for that. If you'd have said to me, guess, I would have been like in the 170 mark. That was where my mind immediately went to with it.
So question number 9. So if you get this right, you're going to be tied with Barry. I'm going to give you a hint on this one. Listen to the question carefully and don't snap out with your first reaction answer, because if you do that, it will be wrong.
In Scream 1996, what is the first question Ghostface asks Casey Becker when he calls her in the opening scene?
So my immediate answer is obviously watch a scary movie, but that's incorrect.
Think about that conversation.
I think the first one is who is the killer in Friday the 13th. But I don't think that's the right one either.
Think before you get to the questions. What is the first question he asks before he gets to the quiz part of the conversation? She picks up the phone and he says,
"Oh, why has my mind gone so blank?" He says,
it's the first thing he says. She picks up the phone and says, "Hello." When he says, "Hello," and then asks a question.
I can't have hello as my answer.
No, it's hello. Then he says hello and then asks her a question straight away.
Hello. Why can't I think? Why is my brain gone? Want to play a game?
You're going to go with that? Or you can walk away. You can walk away with 80 points and you could be just behind Barry, or you could take a swing at it.
That just feels like such an abrupt question to ask so immediately on a conversation on the phone. Why am I just going so blank?
Well, think about a phone call you have. If someone rung you, you'd pick up the phone and go hello, and then what would you say if they didn't say anything? If they didn't say anything.
Are you there? Oh man, you're making this so hard for me. I don't know. So my first ideas are obviously want to play a game. What's your favourite scary movie? And who was the original killer in Friday the 13th?
I'm going to give you a hint. It's none of them. It's a more basic question, not linked to horror movies at all.
That's
basic
so
question.
hard though. That's so hard. Like,
it's Gladys. Do you want to hear it again?
Yeah, please.
In Scream 1996, what is the first question Ghostface asks Casey Becker when he calls her in the opening scene?
Are you home alone? Oh, fuck. Why? No, I can't go out on Gladys's question.
I love the fact you're more upset about going out on an AI's question than you are of going out. You can always walk away and keep your pride intact. At 80 points, you're in second place just behind Barry.
No. Because I know the next question I can get, and I know probably the question after that I can get. I'm just, why would that is such an obscure question to ask somebody. Like in terms of quite quizzes and stuff like that, that's like your final question quiz in terms of how basic the answer should be to something like that.
Yeah, but it's Gladys. Like, Gladys makes life hard. That's what Gladys does. I'm going to have to push you for an answer, because otherwise we have too much dead air.
Fuck dead air. I don't care. Edit it down.
Can't. It's video. Can't do that no more.
Right. So just say it again. Right. Say it again.
In Scream 1996, what is the first question Ghostface asks Casey Becker when he calls her in the opening scene?
And you said hello. Hello. Who's that? Who's that? You'd question who it is who answered the phone. Who's that? Who's this?
You gonna go with that?
I don't know. That's so fucking difficult, man. I feel like I'm just proper spitballing random answers now. Yeah, I'd be like, hi, who am I speaking to? Who am I speaking to is what I would say. But Ghostface isn't as good. Who's that?
Close enough. I'm going to give it to you. It's who is this?
Oh, fuck off. Do you mean you're going to give it to me? I just said the same thing you did.
Yeah.
Is that actually right?
Yeah, who is this? That's correct.
See what I mean? That is such a cop-out from Gladys. That is bullshit question right there. That is one of the most obscure answers I could have given. And I didn't even feel comfortable giving it.
You are now tied with Barry. My question. What is the first movie you reviewed as full-time co-host on this show, and it was a special?
Oh.
And the guests we had on that show would be very upset if you forgot who they were.
Can you tell me who the guest is?
No, because that will instantly give it away, because they are inherently tied to the movie, and that's probably giving it away as well. It was your first full-time co-host episode, and it was a big episode, one that we built for a long time. And that's all the help you're getting, like built for months.
Oh, that's fucking hard, man. Because to me, I always go back to the Exorcist episode, but that wasn't necessarily my first.
So you done The Exorcist, really. Then you done Skelly, we done Evil Dead, and then we done another episode, which was you and me. It was a special episode that had an interview section with 2 guests.
Oh, the welder.
It was the welder. I gave you way too much.
How did I forget that? You did give me way too much there, but I don't care. I'm taking it.
Yeah, no more. You get no more help now.
Was
whatsoever.
that my first episode then, officially?
As full-time co-host, yeah, that was your first official one.
Hell, that's not fair though, mate. I had like 7 episodes before that.
You did. Question 11. This is another one from Chaz Presley. In Scream 2, how many times is CC Cooper stabbed before she's thrown off the balcony? It's either 1, 2, 3, or 4 times.
What a way to add variety to your fucking multiple choice, man. Jesus. CC's Buffy's character, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But Buffy the Scream Slayer.
1, 2, 3, or 4? Did you say?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
I'm trying to picture the scene in my head. I don't know if she got stabbed on the staircase on the way up as she was running. She didn't get massacred enough for her to die because she was still alive as she fell. It was the fall that killed her. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to go 2. Final answer. I'm going all the way, so if it's wrong, I don't care. I tried.
That's correct. Unbelievably, that's correct. You are now on question number 12. You're flying through. Over to Gladys again.
Fuck's sake.
In The Shining, what phrase does Jack type repeatedly on typewriter?
I will play that again because Gladys had some sort of mini seizure.
In The Shining, what phrase does Jack type repeatedly on typewriter?
No sleep makes Jack a dull boy.
What does Jack type on the typewriter?
No sleep makes Jack a dull boy. That doesn't sound right. Why does that not sound right? Because that's the first thing that came into my head. Jack a dull boy. I'm just thinking Simpsons reference now.
I think The Shining, we reviewed it on this show. We had Ghost Note on to do it.
No sleep makes Jack a dull boy.
I'm hovering over the game over button here. You can walk away. You're on... What are you on at the moment? You are on 110 points, so you'd be top of the leaderboard.
Silence, sir. I'm concentrating.
We can't have dead air.
No sleep makes Jack a dull boy. Why does that not sound right, but at the same time sounds right? No sleep makes Jack a dull boy. It's not no sleep. I'm thinking Doctor Sleep. Why am I thinking Doctor? All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Oh, is that right? No, I don't know if that's right either. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I know it definitely makes Jack a dull boy. Is it no sleep makes Jack a dull boy? Or is it no work and no play? All work and no play. No sleep. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Final answer. Oh, no, I don't know. No, hold on.
You said final answer. You said
no,
final
that's
answer.
not my final answer. I don't know.
It's correct. You are at 112 points. You have 3 questions to the end of this quiz, and none of those questions are from Gladys from now on out.
Right, okay, right. I'm fucking feeling better about that.
So, the next question comes from me. How many Halloween movies have you reviewed on the show?
I reviewed the original before I was a full-time co-host. I've reviewed Halloween 4. I have reviewed Halloween Rob Zombie 1 and 2. I've reviewed Halloween Kills. I've reviewed Halloween Ends. Have I done any in between? I don't think we have done 2. I don't think we have done 3. I don't think we have done 5. Or I don't think we have done 6. My heart is telling me 7.
You gonna go with that?
I'm just so confused because I do a lot with video tasties where we've gone through the movies. But I know we did the original, which was before my time as a full-time co-host. I know we've done Halloween 4 because I championed it for so long. And I feel like that was the next Halloween movie that we did. I don't think we've done 5 and I don't think we've done 6, but something's telling me that we did one of those. I feel like we did 5. So I definitely done 1 and 4. I'm unsure about 5. We did H2O. We did Rob Zombies 1, Rob Zombies 2. I didn't do the original 2018 Halloween because you did that on your own with Elise. And then I did Kills and I did Ends. Are you keeping track of these numbers? Because I can't.
Yeah,
I did 1. I did 1. I did 4. And I know I did H2O. And then I did Rob Zombies 1, 2. And then I did Kills and I did Ends. But I think I did 5. So I'm torn between 7 and 8.
Gonna push you to pick one.
I feel like we did 5 because I feel like we were talking about the variation in mask, which would make me say 8.
Gonna go with that?
No, I can't decide if it's 7 or 8. How many is there in the entire franchise? I feel like 8. Oh, where am I at? What's my score?
You are at 120 points at the moment.
Why am I so hard on this? I feel like we did 5. 5's the one that's getting me, and I feel like we did it. Because I remember being really drunk on that episode, and by the time we reached the climax where Dr. Loomis beat him with a bit of timber, and I was referring to it as the 4x2 CLS, which is very technical joinery terms. And I was like, no one's going to have any idea what I'm talking about. But then it's bringing into question, did we do Halloween H2O? But we did, because I talked about it and being like, this was the first film that I watched in the entire franchise. So I know I definitely did that. 8, final answer.
It's correct.
Yes! Oh, that is amazing.
the movies you picked to get to 8 were so wrong, but it is 8. So you've done 1978, Halloween 4, Halloween Resurrection, Halloween Ends, Halloween H20, Halloween 5, Rob Zombie Halloween 1, and Rob Zombie Halloween 2 was done over on YouTube.
Oh, so you weren't going to include Rob Zombie 2?
No, I had included Rob Zombie 2, which made it 8.
Which one did I say that we didn't get?
You said we done Kills. You weren't on Kills episode.
Oh, well, fuck you then.
But you've got it correct. You got the movies wrong, but you got the amount right. Question 13, and this comes from Wolf Dad, who requests next week's episode. I made this one easier because when I read it, I went, fuck, that's hard. So I actually
versions of it.
Yeah, so I made this easier. So name a Stephen King adaptation that stars Thomas Jane. Now, there are 3 movies he's been in. His original question asked for 2 of the 3. I only want 1.
Okay, so you've got The Mist, which is the obvious one to go to. Which is
you only need 1.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and see if I can get more than that. Did you say there were 3?
There's 3.
There was the one with the cornfield, which was something 1944 or something like that. I can't remember the exact title of that movie, but I know that it's the one with the cornfield, where he runs into the cornfield, and then I'm not too sure which the third one is that he's been in.
So which one are you going to pick as your answer? Because you only need one.
Well, my obvious answer is a miss, because I know that one for a fact.
That is correct. The other ones were 1922.
1922, that's it.
And Dreamcatcher.
Thomas Jane's in Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
No, I've seen that movie a million times. Thomas Jane is not in Dreamcatcher.
He is in it. You have a final question. You are at the pinnacle.
No, this is it.
This is it. This is question 15, which you've been here before. You've been here before. You've given an answer, and you have heard this.
You know what makes it worse? Who's asking the question? Is it you or is it a guest?
This is me.
Fuck's sake. That makes it even worse. Because if I fail on this and I know you've done this to me, I'm not going to be your friend anymore.
So, it's a Halloween question.
Of course it is.
So, how many Halloween movies, including the Rob Zombie remakes, feature the character of Dr. Loomis on screen?
Right. Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6. He's referenced in H2O, but he's not in it. And if you include that, we will fight.
No, on screen. He physically appears on screen.
Yep. He's not in Halloween Resurrections, but he is played by Malcolm McDowell in Rob Zombie's 1, Rob Zombie's 2. He's not in any other of the newer trilogies, although he is also referenced in those as well. So we've got Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6, Rob Zombie 1, Rob Zombie 2. So my answer is 7, but that's not my final answer. Just give me a minute. It's in Halloween 1. Definitely in Halloween 2, because he dies at the end, gets blown out of the window. It's not in Halloween 3, because that is
Season of the Witch.
Halloween 3. Halloween 3 is Season of the Witch, but Michael Myers is coming down the staircase. He's Dr. Loomis in that scene as he's coming down the staircase, because you're a trickster. No, he's not. That's just Michael Myers walking down the staircase. Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6. Dr. Donald Pleasance, or are we talking different?
Just the character Dr. Loomis on screen, regardless of actor.
I know what you're doing. Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6, Halloween Rob Zombie, Halloween Rob Zombie 2, and Halloween Kills flashback sequences. 8. Final answer. Don't fuck me with my Halloween knowledge. If that's the wrong answer, he's not in Halloween Ends. He's not in Halloween Ends in a flashback sequence. His flashback sequence is Halloween Kills. He's not in Halloween 2018, just referenced. But he's definitely in the flashback sequence in Halloween Kills. 8, final answer. That nearly got me. That very, very nearly got me.
You're going with 8?
If it's
do you want to run?
I'm so confident that that's right.
Do you want to run through the movies again?
Halloween 1, Halloween 1, Halloween 2, not in Halloween 3, but he's in Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6, Halloween 7. No, he's not in Halloween 7 because he's died at the end of Halloween 6. But he's referenced in Halloween 7, but that doesn't count as an incarnation on screen, and I'm going to hold this to you. If you count that, I'll be raging. But then he's in Halloween Rob Zombie, he's in Halloween Rob Zombie 2, then he is back again in Halloween Kills in the flashback sequence. There's no flashback sequence in 18, and there's no flashback sequence in Halloween Ends. It's got to be 8. 8 is my final answer.
You just broke Broken Spirit. I was so convinced you were going to miss kills. So convinced in my heart.
Oh, mate, I don't know what happened then at the end, and it just came to me. I was like, "You sneaky little bastard."
I was so hoping you were going to go with 7 and I was going to hit game over. Well done.
Oh, that is excellent.
You've beaten it now. So you are top of the leaderboard, 150 points. And all that can happen now is someone can tie with you. And I'm going to throw it out there now. If someone ties with you on 150 points, I'll give them a free T-shirt.
We will do a showdown. The champion of champions.
I tell you what, if someone else beats Broken Spirit and gets the same as you, we'll put you head to head and we'll play a game of seesaw to decide who's the best.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, let's do that. Into roundups for this movie, as I know you're now elated.
I'm going to say, fuck this movie. I don't care. I'm done now. I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.
I don't know what to say about this movie. It's fucking terrible. But like Sharknado 3, it fully commits to how fucking dreadful it is. But unlike the first two, it doesn't. The first 3, it doesn't cling to any kind of realism whatsoever. Like even in Sharknado 3, there was elements that were tied to some kind of fact. The movie references in this are massively overdone. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Star Wars, The Wizard of Oz, Fast and the Furious, Pirates of the Caribbean. They're like all the time. And all of the cameos in this felt less spontaneous. They kind of felt almost like they were picking Dog the Bounty Hunter up and shaking him by his legs, going, "Look, we've got Dog the Bounty Hunter."
Yeah.
And it just felt really contrived and not as fun and silly as part 3. If you like stupid horror, like if you like things like The Shark Exorcist and Velocipasta and Sharktopus and Mega Shark versus Mega Croc, this is 100% up your street. If you don't like those sort of movies, you will eye roll for the entire duration of this. I felt this one, like number 3, I scored 5 out of 5. I scored it 10 out of 10. I loved that movie. This one felt like a massive backstep for me. It's a 2 out of 5. It was below average and less than I wanted from it. I was so excited going into it, and I walked away from it going, "Oh, you kind of went back to all the same shit you done in part 2 that I moaned about. Part 3, you got it just right, and then part 2, you just went back to all the shit that didn't work." So yeah, it's a 2 out of 5 for me.
Solid score. Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I agree with majority of your points. I'll be fair. There's a lot here that is just plain abysmal, which is to be expected from this franchise at this point. My criticisms don't lie with the bad CGI, the terrible acting, and the poor story narrative. My criticisms lie with the over-insinuation of shoving cameos down your face to the point where it dilutes the story and all you're focusing on is the cameos that come. And as I've mentioned throughout this episode, a lot of them were a big miss for me because I didn't know the people they were referencing in that moment, but they spend so much time focusing on them on screen that you feel like you're missing out on an inside joke. It's hard to criticize this movie and also score it because it is definitely an acquired taste. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I didn't fall into the hate it bracket because there was so much in here that I was just barrel roll laughing at due to the and I think it was all intentional. I'll be perfectly honest. I think it was intentional. I don't think we were laughing at it because it was a poorly made movie. I think it was made with the intention of you laughing at certain scenes and certain elements of this movie and being like, "Ha ha ha, that's fucking hilarious." Or they're just walking on a clear green screen to an action scene that is featuring AC/DC. That's brilliant. Everything was done with intention, but it was just not finding the balance that they found in Sharknado 3. And instead of it being plot driven and story driven, they fell too much into the let's see how many celebrities we can get to feature in this, just so everyone can say, oh, that's funny, that's him from Slipknot, or that's funny, that's Carrot Top, or and it kind of lost its way a little bit for me because of that. And I feel like had they turned that back a little bit more, this would have been a 5 out of 5 for me, as much as that sounds as ludicrous to say. But you've got to understand my wheelhouse of horror movies. I love knockoff B-movie, blockbuster, bargain bin horror movies. So this is mocking those kind of films on the level where I can appreciate them, because I love that kind of realm of cinema. So it hit those points very, very well, but it just got so swallowed up by its own ego that it missed what it was set out to achieve by clickbaiting its celebrity cameos, I think. And that's kind of what let it down for me in that sense. Had we had not had that 15-minute introduction where it was just celebrity after celebrity after celebrity, and we just focused on this Finn story, and we had all these ridiculous plot points unfold and stupid homages to not just horror movies but cinema throughout the era, I think I would have appreciated it a lot more. But those cameos just really, really fucking held it back for me on so many levels, to the point where I just got a little bit annoyed by the movie, which is a shame, because as you say, Sharknado 3 was the pinnacle of what this franchise could be. So Sharknado 4, I had a fucking blast. I had an absolute blast watching it. I had a blast talking about it on tonight's episode, but it would be wrong of me to score this highly based on the faults that I found throughout it. I'm hoping this gets itself on the right foot for Sharknado 5 and kind of picks itself back up to what it should be. But as this one stands, I found this to be the weakest since part 1. And part 1 took itself way too seriously, trying to make a stupid movie about a Sharknado before they found their footings in part 1 and part 2 and part 3. This one just indulged itself a little bit too much in its own ego and became more of a billboard than it did a movie for the fans who are following these movies for the right reasons. So for the billboard aspect of it alone, I'm going to drop this down to a 3.5 out of 5, but I don't want anybody to take away from this movie as being a bad movie. It was a lot of fun for me. I had a fucking really, really fun time watching it, but it's not the highlight that this franchise has been prior. So,
no,
yeah,
if you're going to pick a shark, and if you're going to pick a Sharknado movie, from what I've seen so far, pick 3.
Yeah, pick 3. 3 is the pinnacle of what this franchise has to offer up until this point. But don't get me wrong, this movie was a lot of fun. I had a fucking fantastic time, and I laughed my ass off all the way through it for so many reasons.
Mainly
so heavy-handed. Yeah, definitely at it, but that's what we've done since part 1. But this just became so heavy-handed and force-fed to you that it was just annoying. It was like, I enjoyed part 2 and part 3 because it was subtle enough that it was like, if you're a B-movie fan, you're going to get these quippy little Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liners.
Yeah,
but they were
and Jerry Springer.
But you're going to enjoy them subtly enough, whereas if you're a fan of the genre, you'll be like, that's brilliant. But if you were sat with your mate on the sofa watching at the same time, who had no idea of the pop culture references that you're aware of, it'd be like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So it's like it catered to like a certain niche audience. But now this one just felt catered to the masses. You might as well have stuck 10 Kardashians in this movie. It was that level of annoyance.
That's the next one.
Oh, really? Are there Kardashians in the next one?
I don't know. I hope there is. So there you have it. That is Marc's 100th anniversary episode. Jokes aside, I love having you as co-host. Like, this show has changed so much since you've come on board, and now it's, as much as we do this to entertain everyone, this is now about you and me having a beer on a Friday and having a joke and a laugh and talking shit about a horror movie. And I'm grateful for that. So thank you for being my co-host, and here's to the next 100.
Thank you. Thank you very much for including me. And like I say, you're right. This isn't necessarily about the masses. And one thing I've always said to you from the start when I joined, I was like, me and you, when I did my introductory episodes and we just hung out, we had a few beers, it was never a case of, oh, how many people are listening to it. I just enjoyed coming on the show, and I enjoyed talking about movies with you and chatting shit and just getting on and having a laugh and having a few beers. We record this episode on a Friday night. I've been at work all week. I have a very intense family life at home. I have a wife. I have a daughter. It's rough. Do you know what I mean? I love my family, but things are hard. Do you know what I mean? Like everybody who has kids and has to work a 9 to 5 every day, you know the struggles that you go through. My get through every single week is knowing that I come in here on a Friday night and we just get to kick back, have a few beers, and just talk shit about fucking movies that we love. So as much as you're glorifying my inclusion on the show, I just want to say a big thanks to you for inviting me on to be part of it, because this isn't about the show for me. I never record this on a Friday night and worry about how many people are listening to it or how many people are interacting to it. As much as we appreciate everybody coming in every Friday, not every Friday, that's when we record, sorry. As much as I appreciate everybody giving the feedback and messaging in and talking to us and reaching out and dropping the DMs and the voice messages and stuff, that's all fantastic. I love to hear back from you all. That's great. But just know that's not about what it is for me. I just enjoy coming in here and just talking about a particular movie with you, man. It's a Friday night, and it's just, you get to a Friday, you've done a working week, kick back, have a few beers. It's like walking down to the pub. Just been like, right, my work's done. I just want to go have a few pints with my mate, and that's what that is for me. So
exactly that. And it's one of those things that, because we both look at it like that, we're blessed. We've got a very large audience who listen to this show, and I'm grateful for every single one of them. But if every single one of those listeners disappeared and we had 3 people listening every week, I'd still come out here on a Friday night and sit here, talk shit horror movies and kick back and have some beers.
Yeah, definitely. And that's all it ever has been about for me. Is just, I don't care about the numbers. I don't care what happens or how far this podcast goes regarding once I switch off on a Friday night. You know, I just enjoy spending time in your company, chatting shit, playing a few games, and just having a laugh about the films that we've watched. So for me, it's a blessing. I appreciate you inviting me to be on here and to make it into 100 episodes. So I'm grateful for that, sir. Thank you, sir. It's been a very, very enjoyable journey. And thank you, everybody, for listening. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and 100 more to come, if not more. Maybe more. There's going to be more.
Maybe many more Sharknado movies to come too.
Don't forget, after me and Mark just said we don't really mind if you're here or not, if you could leave us a review on Apple or Spotify, that will really help us grow and reach more people.
Don't do it for me, though, because I don't give a shit.
Make sure you go to yourunpodcast.com, check out the other podcast network members. They're all awesome too. But until next time, say goodbye to my wife, and I'll say hello to yours.
It breaks my heart. Breaks my heart every time.
Right. We'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.
Cheers, guys. Love you. Appreciate the support.
Hey, everyone. The You Run Podcast. The You Run Podcast.
You want to die tonight?
Scott, I think you know who the fuck this is that's talking.
Cancel Marc. I was terribly offended.
Because after all, this is not our show. This is your show.